young players. What's the other? There's one more. There's a couple more. You signed loads of these young players, and everyone was like, "Yeah, this is the way."
We do
to
this
go.
every year. We just always pick up a few young players.
But I'm saying but now I'm saying you're now asking for Palhinhas and Douglas Luizes. These guys are 30 plus. So
no, they're late 20s, and yeah, Palhinha is 30. But that's because Spurs have also identified, and it has been pointed out, that we need experience in the squad. We have far too many young players, and if you're going into a season where you have Champions League, and to be fair, when you look at our team, we don't even have leaders. Like, I'm looking at who is Thomas Frank going to make captain? By proxy, it's probably going to have to be Romero, because Romero is the vice captain, and Maddison vice captain, Vicario vice captain. By proxy, they're probably going to be pushed into it. But when I look at all three of them, neither of them are leaders. So you need to buy somebody that can lead the team, and that needs experience. Now, I'm not saying Pauline is going to come in and be that captain, but we need someone of that type. Where when I heard that we was interested in Norgard, I'm like, all right, cool. We need a player like Norgard who's experienced, he's a captain, he's a leader. Those types of characters, we don't have them. We don't have enough of them in our team.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, but that's my point. Is 2 years ago when he decided to change the mantra, it was a clear direction that he was going in. So you're basically saying that what you want him to change it back to,
not change anything. It's like, when you have this model, this young model, it doesn't mean you go all the way and sign bare 21, 22-year-olds. You still got to mix and match it. You got to do.
No, but they got to grow together. That's what I'm saying. The whole point is that's why Archie Gray, regardless of the scenario, he should be playing in his position. If you believe that that's the next guy that's going to be there and take over from that point, that's the point I'm making. You're saying we should be buying players, because at the end of the day, this is where they need. When Liverpool were at the top of their game, they were trying to nurture Gomez at the same time. They were nurturing them.
We've got enough young players to do that now, though, is what I'm saying. We don't need any more young players to nurture through. If we sign any more young players, all we have is a squad full of young players.
No, who's going to be? So your team is going to be Vicario is young, and then you got Porro, Romero, Van de Ven, and Udogie. Yeah, fairly young backline, to be fair, fairly young. Then your midfield is going to be, your midfield is full of experience. You're talking like it's not.
Benzco's like 26, 27. Basuma's leaving.
That's experience. Basuma's experience. Madison's experience.
Leaving. He's done. Madison's experience. Cool.
I know, but I'm saying the players that are there, they are experienced players. Heung-min Son's an experienced player. Dominic Solanke's an experienced. I know. I'm saying those players are there at your club.
No, but what I'm saying is the players that are leaving are experienced. The players you're going to mention are experienced in Sonny, Basuma, Richarlison. They're 3 players on the list that we want to leave. They're 3 of our most senior players in the fact that they're going to be leaving. Do you think we should replace those players with more youngsters? And so we're bringing the age of the squad even more down, or do we not replace those with more experienced players?
No, it's not about. Yeah, go on.
I mean, correct. Okay, hear me out. Yeah. If you guys made a shift, to like, I don't know, let's just for argument's sake, let's just say, okay, your new model now is youth. You're gonna build a youthful team, and it's a project, and they're gonna grow together, they're gonna improve together, yada yada yada. Don't you think the fact that you won a trophy, a European trophy at that, shouldn't you be carrying on with that? Like, most people are vexed when their team decides to like do a project, like a youth project, because they usually don't win things when they do that. But you guys won with that kind of model. So why would you win with that model and then break away from the model? I'm not saying you're breaking away.
They know the win was a lucky win. That's the reason. Because there's no way you'd want to change your ethos if you felt like you deserved it and had a good model.
No, but I don't think you're understanding. You're completely misunderstanding my point. Who's talking about changing the ethos? Nobody said that we shouldn't continue to sign young players. We've still signed. You're forgetting this window. We signed Matista or Kota Takaya, 2 players under 21. Already this window, we've signed 2 players under 21. There's no reason why you should be signing 4 or 5 players under 21 in one window. What you do need to do is sign young players and then pair them up with older players, so your squad has a maintenance of balance. You need balance in the squad. You can't just have a pure young squad. Looks like we saw with Chelsea a few years ago. They had bare young players, then they had no leaders, and then they had to assign Enzo as the captain because they looked around. It's like, why is Enzo captain? He just come in 6 months ago.
But they stuck by it though.
Yeah.
They stuck by that, and guess what? It only worked. Why did it work for Chelsea, and why is it working?
Because it takes time.
Because they invest so much. Every time that a young player doesn't work out, they sell them and they buy another one to replace it, just like we've seen with Madueke. Tottenham don't do that. The difference in our model and Chelsea model isn't buy and sell. We buy a young player and we're going to keep that young player for years until it does work out. We're going to try and get as much as we can out of that young player. So we're not going to sell Archie Gray if he doesn't work in a year. We're not going to get rid of him for 35 to 40 minutes. We're going to keep him until he begins to work out. We're going to try to get something out of him. So our model's not similar in that sense. We have to balance it, because if we don't and we go all the way young, it's just not going to work out. And we're going to see, as we have seen, and like we saw last season, someone sent in the chat talking about, remind Jords how his team lost double digits or lost however many games last year. We lost so many games because the team was young, and every time we went down by 1 or 2 goals, the mentality was, we've lost the game again, heads down. We had no leaders on the pitch to bring us back through games. We lost, I think, like 20 games, or we lost like a double-digit amount of games by 1 goal. By 1 goal, the majority of our losses were by 1 goal. How can you have that many losses by 1 goal? Because the mentality failed to bridge that gap, and we had nobody to help us get through those moments. That's I really look at the team and say there's been a mentality issue for a while, and the only way that you fix that is by bringing in experienced players. That's what I just think, innit?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think so. I think it's like because you paid 40 million for Archie Gray because of his potential, innit? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you need to let him realize his potential and gain the experience. I feel like you wouldn't, if he were coming through your academy, for example, and I can understand the process and taking time, but you paid 40 million for this guy. Like that's big money for a 17 or 18-year-old. So I find it quite weird when people say you buy a young player and then you keep buying, and this is our motto now, but now we need to buy experienced players that play in the position of the players that you bought. If you were saying like you need to fill in the holes, I can understand that. But to fill in, if you buy a Douglas Luiz and a Palhinha, they're blocking Archie Gray for 3 years.
I'm not on that though. I don't believe that there is a such thing as blocking a pathway. That's just rubbish to me. Because again, if the player's good enough, because if a player's good enough, they get in. Just like Chelsea, just like you've seen now, they've got Esteval, the best player to come out of Brazil since Neymar. We've been told, that's what literally the statistics and everything's been. That doesn't stop them buying right wingers and buying.
Why do you think Madueke left? That's why Madueke left.
No, Madueke didn't leave because of that. Madueke left because he saw himself a better opportunity at Arsenal. That was the only reason why
he left, because he felt like he was going down the pecking order.
He left, but I think it's something along the lines of he felt like he was a player from the old guard.
His pathway was getting blocked.
But that's because last season, as the season played on, he was playing less and less because he started to realize the manager doesn't favor him as much. Now, with Esteval coming in, my point is Chelsea continue to sign players without the worry that, we're going to block Esteval's pathway. No, if Esteval's good enough, he will force himself.
You're wrong, though, because there's a reason why players like Harvey Elliott might leave Liverpool, and the reason why a lot of these, like, look at Omari Hutchinson, but Heaven, Chido Obi. Why do you think these guys all left Arsenal? They left.
There wasn't an opportunity at Arsenal. They didn't feel like Arsenal gave
because they felt like their pathway was blocked. That's
the
reason.
You guys just didn't give young players opportunities. That's all it is. You guys
we've got 3 young players in our first 11.
Now you have, but there was a few years, and a lot of Arsenal fans were angry with Arteta. Even when Waneri first came through, they're screaming, "Waneri, play more! Why is Waneri not playing more? Why is he not playing these minutes? Why is Saka playing minutes in Europa League when this youngster could be playing?" That's been a complaint from Arsenal fans about Arteta for years.
Yeah, but that's a recent thing. Arsenal's always been known to play young players. We've been known to do
Arsenal have, but Arteta hasn't. It's only recent.
Arteta's got the youngest debut. He's got the longest debut in the Premier League history.
Again, only recently he started to use young players. Hooks, am I wrong?
You're not going mad. He's going mad at the moment.
How am I going mad?
The only, let's be honest, the only reason, that it seems like Arteta promotes youth is because Calafiori and Saka got injured. If Calafiori and Saka didn't get injured the way they did last season, Mars Lewis-Skelly, he doesn't have the breakout season that he has. Waneri gets nowhere near the minutes that he got. Like, for Waneri to start in last season, Waneri started getting serious minutes only when Saka and Ødegaard was injured. And then even then, sometimes Trossard was playing ahead of it. Like, so cool. He gives youth opportunity, but nowhere near as much as what Arsenal as an institution are used to or historically have done.
I think you're wrong, man.
Hey, I mean, it's fine in it, like, because we can agree to disagree in it, and that's fine because it's a game of opinions, isn't it?
Top of the tibbity top Guna D.
But you know what the difference is between like your Esteval comparison that you made? The only difference is when Chelsea go out and buy other players, they buy other young players. So you're not really blocking the pathway in the same way. Like, if you go and sign Palhinha, that's a statement that Archie Gray's not starting.
He's not good enough. That's what it means. It doesn't mean he's not starting. It means Archie Gray isn't good enough.
But if you went on, I don't know, if you went and signed someone,
he's not good enough for Champions League. That's the point, though. We're playing Champions League this year. We're playing Europa League. I'll be like, yeah, cool, Archie Gray, you're going to get a lot of your minutes in Europa League in central midfield this season. Maybe not in the Premier League, but in the Europa League. We don't have minutes to give away like that now. It's not like we can look at him and be like, yeah, Archie, you're going to be playing in the Champions League against Real Madrid. We're going to use you in a pivot of our midfield. That's just not going to happen. That's like we have to have ambition as a club. So yeah, we tell him, yeah, we're bringing in Palhinha because we're playing 2 games a week. You're still going to play a lot of minutes, but we need a diverse squad and we need experience in here for games when we're playing in the Champions League. That's why we're signing an experienced player. We're playing 2 games a week. I don't get why Archie Gray or any other player would be upset with us or a youngster. And if he is, then get rid of him, because if he's not good enough anyway, there's a reason why we're signing a player above him. Like, again, I think
you're making my point now. That's the point I'm making. I'm saying
no, but if Archie Gray was upset by it, I would say get rid of him, because who do you think you are, bro? You're 18, 19. Like, you will wait and bide your time in the team. We're playing Champions League. We're at the big boy table. You need to know your level sometimes.
No, but he's got. But this is the thing. I think he's good enough to play. Like, I don't think you need to sign someone who, like, so clearly is going to play above him. Like, I think if you went and signed someone who's, like, I don't know, between the ages of like 21 to 25, all right, cool. But you're going out in his position, you're going out and signing Palhinha. I promise you, Palhinha is starting every game. Archie Gray will probably play, I don't know, FA Cup games, maybe Carabao Cup
games every now and then.
Every now, but it, like, even, but I don't know. Like, for me personally, Homeland, I don't even say his name. His name, the Spoilism brother. That's a good signing, because he's not old enough that I look at him and go, yeah, you're definitely playing all the time. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, to an extent, I hear both sides in it. Don't get me wrong, I hear both sides, but my fear, I'm kind of leaning more towards D in the sense that if you go out and commit £40 million on a youngster, you have to make the pathway open for them. Otherwise, you wasted £40 million. You might as well just sell them.
You wasted 40 million. You could have spent 10 million on your Norgard for 2 years, and then 10 million on WB for 2 years.
Yeah.
That would have been a 6-year, 8-year process on 30-year-olds.
But the thing is,